Well, looking at next season, Dirk, if there was an overarching theme, what would it be?
Well, I think what we really are trying to do next season is to celebrate our community and celebrate the resilience of our community coming out of this, sort of dark pandemic time and being able to come together again and enjoy this amazing orchestral music that the DSSO plays. That's really, I think, the focus of next year, and we will still be able to feature our musicians. We've picked some repertoire that really highlights the virtuosity and the talents of our musicians, and I think we want to celebrate that the arts are going to be on the forefront of the recovery, so to speak, here in the Northland, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah. And of course, we want to thank you, our subscribers and patrons, for being with us this past year. We've been able to, of course, stay connected through all these virtual means and everything else. And we really want to say, please come back. Our musicians are really looking forward to not only seeing you, but also hearing you and clapping and really enjoy the concerts as well.
Absolutely, and I think while all of us were thrilled to be able to perform during the pandemic and to be able to perform to a live audience, it does make a big difference, of course, to have a full house, and not just a sold-out house with 150 people, but a full house. And I know I speak for all musicians when I say we can't wait for that to happen again.
I know, I keep hearing it from all times. So I know it sort of gave away a little bit of what was happening, but we're doing some works by Beethoven this coming season. I know we missed a little bit of our plan, the 250th celebration, but what are we doing this year, and sort of why do you think Beethoven's music is just enduring?
Still there, yes. As probably many of you know, the DSSO have been embarking on that Beethoven project since several years now, where we perform and record all of the symphonies, the 9 symphonies, and we were supposed to play 3 and 5 last year. Is that right? 3, 2?
5. It was 5 in May.
5 in May. That's right. And we had to cancel 5 because of that was the beginning of the pandemic. So this year it's time to bring 5 home finally, and we're also performing the 3rd, his Eroica Symphony, which will take us almost to the end of the Beethoven project after several years now.
But we're sneaking in a special. You said the 9 symphonies. We're
That's
sneaking
right.
in one more.
We're sneaking in one more. That's right, number 10. That's of course not a thing, but it is believed that Beethoven, just shortly before he passed, he created sketches for a 10th symphony, and they've actually been put together in a short, I think it's 15 minutes or so, one movement type work, which is very much Beethoven. It is absolutely Beethoven, and it's been published as the Symphony Number 10. So it's the sketches that have been assembled. It's very fun to just discover this, because it's not any Beethoven that you've heard before. Yeah. But to come to address your other question, why is he so enduring? I think there's 2 things to it. One, the art is just incredible. And with really great art, it doesn't matter how many times you go back, you look at that picture, you listen to this music, there's always something new that you discover, always. And that is 100% the case with his works. And on the other hand, Beethoven was one of the first to really incorporate his own story into the music. And just the fact that he was able to write these works being completely deaf, it's an inspiring story, and also you can hear his struggles, his pain in the music, but you can also hear the victory and the joy and the exuberance, and that really, I think, is very endearing, and we can see ourselves, so to speak, in his music, and we can relate to that in a different way. And I think that's really a big part of why he is such a timeless composer, 250 years later.
I know. Couldn't have said it better. I'm really looking forward to. And you'll be excited to hear the 10th symphony. It does sound like Beethoven, and it's so just great to be able to explore it. You mentioned Florence Price. So last year, this past season, we performed several compositions by some traditionally unrepresented composers. So what will be in store next year if we're going to continue that?
Yes, that was actually something that I know both of us were very excited about, to just dig in a little bit and find this repertoire by these underrepresented composers that is lesser known, but still very, very good. Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward to continue along this path. And this next year we have a work by Fanny Mendelssohn Hensel, who's Felix's not daughter, his sister, which is really fantastic. We have also several works by composers of color, and the one that I'm most looking forward to in that regard is the William Dawson Negro Folk Symphony, a fantastic piece of music based completely on spirituals, and just powerful, and a great, great work.
And at one time, it was like one of the most well-performed, pieces in America for what I know. The Philadelphia Orchestra did it several times in recordings.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's from the 30s, 36 or 1936 or something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that'll be on our final concert. We open this season next year with work by Jonathan Leshnoff. We've done several of his pieces before, and then go right into the Mozart Flute Concerto. Mm-hmm. So you have a modern work and a very traditional one. So how do you pair that?
Well, I think anything can go together if you find a connection, right? But definitely, I like contrast on a program. Mm-hmm. And if you have something classical on a program and something modern, almost guaranteed there will be good contrast between the two of them. And I thought that the energy and the edginess of Jonathan's work is a great sort of wake-up call to the audience. Okay, here we go. And then you go into something completely different, the serene sounds of the flute, of all instruments. So it's the juxtaposition of the two that I think makes it work.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really great starter to the season, and provides, again, something old, something new, something familiar, something different, but really something for everyone.
Yes.
You talked about Erin Aldridge, our concertmaster.
Yes.
She'll be performing a violin concerto that it'll have its Minnesota premiere. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about this sort of new work, definitely not only to the DSSO, but also to the state of Minnesota?
Right. And of course, it's not new in terms of it was just written. Jose White was a composer who was born in Cuba, and he received his education in Paris, and later on lived for a large part of his life in Paris. And he was a composer and violinist, mm-hmm. and a virtuoso at that. And his concerto for violin, Erin once said, she compared it to the Wieniawski violin concertos, and Wieniawski was the same kind of guy, like Paganini, a virtuoso who composes, but he composes for his instrument, and he composes to show off his virtuosity. And that's the Jose White violin concerto too. It's very much in the 19th century vein of virtuoso performing with virtuoso concerti, but a very fun one at that. Very, very cool. And I'm thrilled that we can perform this for the first time ever in this state. Yeah.
Great. And speaking of violins, in March we have another great artist coming in with a very interesting violin, interesting backstory. Not saying this next season is all about the violin, but this one has a very special story that, with a composer, Johannes Brahms, who I really adore. And so can you tell the audience a little bit more about what we'll be hearing and why they should definitely come to see this concert?
Yes, so first of all, we're performing Johannes Brahms, which that alone is reason to just melt away. He's also one of my absolute favorites. So we will be performing his violin concerto, and Geneva Lewis, she currently is just taking off. She is the new rising star in the violin world, and she will be performing this work with us. And so when Brahms wrote this concerto in 1878, I believe, he composed it for his good friend and virtuoso violinist, Joseph Joachim. And Joachim premiered this concerto just in a year later or some time later on his violin. his Stradivarius that today is known as the Joachim Stradivarius. And it just so happens that Geneva Lewis has that very same instrument on loan during 2022. So she will be coming here, perform this concerto with us on the violin that it was originally premiered with in 1879, which is just, it's such a wonderful, crazy idea that we're so close to the real thing, so to speak, you know. Pretty much as close as you can get when you perform composers that are not alive anymore.
So we really will be hearing this piece almost exactly as it sounded 150 years ago.
Almost.
Almost. Almost. I mean,
Almost,
because
yes.
the violin will make the exact same intonations and everything else,
Yes.
just through Geneva's
Yeah.
interpretation, which, I mean, to me is just mind-boggling. You can see a picture and understand like that's what's frozen in time. This is a frozen in time with the work being composed, but now you're going to hear it.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think of it as the violin is the vessel through which this concerto comes out, you know, it's the same. It's the same. It has played this thing for the composer. It's just, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, I am excited about that one, and I love talking about some of the soloists we have, especially coming up in April, which will feature a very unusual sight: two pianos on stage together for a joint performance. Tell us a little bit about the work, and also how challenging it will be to sort of balance out two different performers that'll be on either sides of you on the podium.
Right. Yeah, that's a little unusual. So we will be performing the Poulenc concerto for two pianos, and I love Poulenc. His music is so uniquely the harmonies that he uses. You hear this, and that's Poulenc. And not many composers have that, but he is one of those. And I just happen to very much like it. And this is a really fun, energetic piece. And you're right, we don't have just two pianists playing forehand. We have two pianists on two different instruments. So one over here, one over there. The biggest challenge is going to be just space. Because two big, concert grands, they take up a lot of space. But other than that, I mean, for me, it's just, okay, here, over there, over here, a lot of that. But I'm very much looking forward to it. And our soloists that we have for...
A wonderful local connection.
A wonderful local connection, yeah. It's the Wachowski-Shapiro duo, piano duo. And Diana Shapiro actually just started with the piano faculty here at UMD. So we're really thrilled to be able to feature somebody new local, somebody who's new to the local scene.
So you hear that, Bulldogs? You better come out. It would be a great time in April to come hear one of your professors.
Absolutely.
Finally, we can't not talk about next season without mentioning our DSSO chorus.
Yes.
When we get to this performance in April 2022, it'll be over 2 years since the DSSO's chorus last performed, February 2020. What will it mean for you to have them on stage in our season finale?
Yeah, I mean, I personally can't wait for them to be back on stage. I love chorus music, and I love working with our chorus. They're such a great group of people and musicians. But it's really sort of like a symbol of we finally made it out of this, pandemic times where singing is just not safe. And it will be fantastic. And of course, it's a celebration. It's a celebration to be able to be on stage together again and sing together again. And so we made it a celebration concert. It's the best of the chorus literature packed into one powerhouse concert. It's going to be really, really fun.
I know one of my mom's favorites, Carmina Burana.
Might just be on there.
Might just be on there. So Mom, if you're watching, come on. Next season, we're doing something a little differently. We're doing 7 Masterworks concerts and 2 Pops concerts.
Yes.
So what are our plans for the Pops concerts? And what are we going to have people expect to see them? And will be something? There's something for families, maybe?
Maybe. Our Pops series, I'm really thrilled about because it covers two of the times of year that I really like, and I love the music that goes with it. Halloween and then the holidays. So we'll have a Halloween concert very close to Halloween, actually. And it will feature a mix of light classical music, the Night on Bald Mountain and so on, things that you know from Fantasia. And it will feature a lot of pop tunes as well, popular tunes. And then our holiday concert is just what, I would be hoping for a holiday concert. All your favorite holiday tunes jammed into one evening of great music with the DSSO. And in conjunction with our pop series, we're also finally bringing back our casual concerts that we had started the season that COVID hit, and we were able to do all of them, but we're finally bringing them back, and those are shorter versions of these pop concerts that are really designed for families, and they will be performed in the afternoon of those performance dates.
Yeah, our first one was October 2019. I remember it was like my second month here, and it was really enjoyable. We had over 600 family members come. Some of them actually came dressed up.
Yep.
And it was a really, really great, popular concert, and we were looking forward to bringing it back, actually for the Beethoven 5 concert, and again, unfortunately, COVID prevented us from doing that. But It was one of the things that I know I certainly wanted as the executive director, but I know we've been talking about making sure that we provide a great access point for families to come and enjoy the music.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about these kids. Some of the kids came dressed up. I certainly hope that you guys will
and adults
dress
too.
up. Adults too. For that Halloween concert. What better time to do it?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll have an orchestra costume contest. Musician costume contest.
I like it.
Anything else? Talking about next season. Talking about how things have happened, where we want to be, what we want to say to our people who have been missing, being here at the deck and experiencing music.
Well, I really think that we have, you mentioned earlier, that there's something for everybody, and that is true, I think. When you look at our season lineup for next year, there is something for everybody in there, and it doesn't matter at all if you are a classical music aficionado or you know nothing about classical music whatsoever. I'm sure that people will come to a concert like our celebration concert, and I can't imagine anybody listening to Respighi's Roman festivals and not coming out with a giant smile on their face. I can't see anybody not reacting to something like this. And there are several concerts like this on the season that are just uplifting, and that was part of what we wanted. Of course, we wanted to have an uplifting season that celebrates our ability to come and listen to music again in person. And I've spoken to many of our patrons, and yeah, that's what you hear. They're hungry, they're ready to get out of the house again, get off the couch, and experience something for real, something that's not just on a computer, but that is shared with others. And I'm very much looking forward for that to happen.
I know our musicians are as well. So, well, there you go. A little taste of next season, of the 21-22 season. Really something for everyone. We want to make sure everyone can come and experience it in person. And there will be a seat for you. And we're just so excited to be able to announce it today and be able to continue to make music happen here in the Twin Ports. So
absolutely.
From the DSSO family to yours, thank you so much for being a supporter, and we look forward to seeing you here at Symphony Hall in the fall.
We look forward to seeing you.